Hey everybody, another review for you today. You may recall I made a video about interesting indies coming to the Switch in January. One of those games was called Paper Trail. I may have gotten my wires crossed or there were some delays as that game did not come out in January. It was actually released today. I was really interested in trying it out and I was going to pick it up anyway, but then I was able to get a copy early so I could make this review. So shout out to the fine folks at Newfanglin Games for allowing me to play it so I could get this review out on the day of release. This world was so immersive and the gameplay was more challenging than I thought, but I enjoyed my time with it. That's basically the TLDR version of this review, but I have more to say. Let's get into it. Paper Trail is a top-down puzzle adventure about leaving home set in a foldable paper world. You play as Paige, a budding academic, leaving home for the first time to pursue her studies. On the journey, you learn to fold the world, merging two sides to solve puzzles, explore new areas, and uncover long-lost secrets. The story is pretty simple. Paige is making her way to university and exploring all the sights and sounds therein. Along the way, she meets a very colorful cast of characters that have their own stories and broaden Paige's horizons about the world. There's also a parallel story about her family, but I won't spoil much about it. What immediately stands out about this game is the style. It's a mix of printmaking and watercolor with some very smooth animations. Each level has its own color palette that matches the theme. One level emphasizes greens where you're in a forest with raindrops that are well animated in each fold of paper. Another emphasizes red in a town that has a celebration by bonfire. Each level is carefully thought out and executed well from one fold to the next. And speaking of folds, that is the main gameplay mechanic. Paige has the ability to literally fold the world around her to create and open new paths. You can play this with mouse and keyboard or controller. Either way is pretty simple and I play this on the controller and on the Steam Deck, which this game is perfect for. Each corner and each of the paper in the level can be folded into one another using the right stick and holding the right trigger. Once a piece has been connected, Paige can travel across the newly made bridge, walkway, or staircase to get to the next section of the level. You do have to be mindful of where you are folding because you cannot fold into where Paige is standing or in later levels fold into obstacles like a platform or a statue that are also used to help you solve puzzles. You also have the ability to see what is on the opposite side of the paper. This is very useful as it helps you plan out how to make each fold based on the information you are given. The levels start off relatively easy while introducing a new mechanic or two, but they slowly progress until you get to the final puzzle, which feels like a final exam of all the things you were previously shown. It is for sure a daunting task when the camera pans out to show how much you have to do to complete it. Paying close attention during all of the earlier parts of the level is key so you don't feel as overwhelmed. But if you do feel that way, there is a hint system that shows you each fold in progression to completing the level. Keep in mind, this does not show you which way to move Paige or any of the obstacles. I think it would have been nice to have that there, but once you go over the fold progression, it does become pretty obvious what your next move is. I for sure use this a lot in the later levels because one of my biggest challenges was knowing what the first move was. Once I did that, I was pretty set, but still had to go back a few times when I got stuck. But you can easily restart the level if you do feel really stuck. You can also go back to previous levels that you have completed already just to get a little bit of extra progression. There are a number of collectibles in the form of origami that you can add to your collection, as well as a number of achievements to discover as you fold away. If you have a completionist heart, there is a lot of replay value there for you. What is nice is that the narration in between each level is interactive. You fold paper as Paige is narrating about her experience thus far as she reminisces about the time she had with her brother Oscar. It did make me more interested in the story as opposed to just watching a cutscene, so I thought that was a good design choice. There's also cute dialogue sounds that each of the characters make as you meet them. It kind of reminds me of the language that we used in Celeste. I do think this game is best played in shorter bursts than all at once, because there were a number of times that I felt stuck on a puzzle that I closed the game. Then I came back the next day and solved it with relative ease. I don't play that many puzzle games in general, but I think this is good to have because there can be a frustration that sets in when you have folded paper so many times but have nowhere to go. If you are a big fan of puzzle games, let me know in the comments if that's the case. Overall, I think Paper Trail is a great game. The art style is incredible, the music is peaceful, and the gameplay is very unique. I have not played a puzzle game quite like this one, and I'm glad I did. And I can see why the devs won over 35 awards and accolades. They for sure deserve it as they worked so hard to make this game. I wish them the best and I hope they see a lot of success on the release. If you are a fan of puzzle games or even have a passing interest, I highly encourage you to pick up Paper Trail. If you pick it up, I would love to hear your experience with it down in the comments, and if you decided to pick it up after watching this review, I would love to hear that as well. And while you are down there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more indie game reviews, LPs, and more. My name is Chike, and I will see you next time. Bye.